What's up, money magnets? It's your Uncle Charters. As usual, Uncle's gonna chart for you guys and come up with some trade ideas and find some pivot levels for us. But before I do that, I do want to acknowledge my opinion from yesterday's video. I talked about how we had this big body green candle from Tuesday, followed by a doji yesterday. And usually when I see a two candle setup like this, the third candle tends to be bullish. Unfortunately, today that was not the case. So I do want to acknowledge that Uncle's prediction did not come true, and it was very unfortunate. So what do we do in a situation like this? For me, well, you lick your wounds and then we reset from scratch and get ready for the next setup. But as far as the setup goes, we can see that SPY pretty much didn't go anywhere and closed right around the same area it did yesterday. So what does that mean? That means the overall plan for tomorrow is still the same, but the context is a little bit different. As you guys know, the market cycles between two phases, the trend phase and the chop phase. For the last 2 days, the SPY, although it hit some new all-time high, intraday it's been chopping and going sideways, but the good news is that it gave us a range, which is 642.6 up to 646. So even though the chop phase is not very fun, we do have a chop range, so when it finally ends, we'll know based on the price action. So the plan for tomorrow is bulls need to stay above 644 and clear 646 to send us up to 647.7 and 650. And as far as being bearish, we need to break down 644 and break down 642.6 to send us back to the downside, at least for a back test of 639.8. Now, if we can break down 639.8, we break down this multi-week trend line, we break down the 5 daily moving average, and we break down a previous all-time pivot high. That would be very bearish in my opinion. So that's the levels and setups, still overall the same. If we are still between the 642.6 to the 646 zone, that means we are in the chop phase still, and most likely going to be very trapped. Overall, keep in mind the trend is still bullish, especially with this uptrend line. So we're talking about a top. We want to see that trend line breakdown. We want to see that previous pivot high breakdown. 642.6 and 639.8 are the two critical levels that bears need to watch, because if those levels break down with volume and a big body red candle elevator style down, that's a good sign that we got the top. As of right now, this is still looking like a melt up. Today we pretty much just hit this uptrend line again. So if this uptrend continues, there's a good chance tomorrow we clear 646 to head to new all-time highs, because as you guys can see, this uptrend line slopes up. So if bulls fail to clear 646, there's a good chance we're gonna break down this trend line, and breaking down this trend line would be the start of putting in a top. Speaking of trend line, QQQ also has its own trend line and retested it as a support for the third time today. So unfortunately, we did not get that big trend move, but we did back test and bounce off this trend line, and the 5 DMA is also still holding as support. So the trend is still overall bullish. Tomorrow, if we clear 580 and 582, I would be a little more confident in going long based on the context here with 583.4 and 586 plus in play. But if this bounce leads nowhere and we stay below 580 and break down 578, that's bearish. We get below the 5 DMA as well as this multi-week trend line, putting 574.6 in play. Now notice that 574.6 is a previous high right here. When we cleared it, we never technically back tested it as a support. So going to hit that level would still be overall bullish, which would be a healthy pullback. But if we break it down, that would be very bearish. That would be a daily chart false breakout setup, which should give us a multi-day move to the downside. But above 580 and 582, especially above 583.4, we should be heading up to new all-time highs. But if not, and we lose 578 and we lose 574.6, that's the time to get bearish. NVDA, it's still not the time to get bullish or bearish on this ticker symbol, because unfortunately we are still stuck within the chop range, still rejecting from the 184-ish level sell zone, still bouncing off the 180 buy zone, but still not going anywhere. So once again, I cannot give you guys a direction until we break that range, but I can confidently say that we are in the chop phase and the trend phase will return eventually, and it's going to be very beautiful. And we know it'll end when this chop range is broken. Above 184 we can expect new all-time highs, and below 180 we can expect a multi-day pullback to the downside. Here is Tesla. After rejecting from my 78.6 fib level yesterday, it showed a little bit of bearish follow through, but all it did was back test this multi-month trend line as a support and still narrowly avoiding a false breakout setup. But the more that this support level gets tested, the weaker it gets and eventually will break down. So with the last day of the week tomorrow, it would be nice if the bulls showed some follow through, and one of the things they need to do is get back above the 337 level, reclaim the 5 daily moving average, and I would favor another $10 pop to the upside 347 to the 350 range, and I wouldn't be surprised if we go even higher. But if bears are actually going to do something that matters, these little micro pullbacks are not enough. They need to take out critical support levels. 333 and 331.5 are those levels, because if we break those down, we will officially be in false breakout mode, which would be very bearish for Tesla. Here is Coin. After hitting the area of liquidity yesterday, the bears didn't get much follow through. They managed to hit a support level, but that support level bounced off of my blue horizontal line here, and they're attempting a breakout. I would trust it more if it can take out the 328 level and 324, same levels as yesterday. Context is a little bit different because this trend line is sloping down and Coin's going for the breakout, but I will trust it more if 328 and 334 clears, because if they do, I would expect a $20 to a $30 move to the upside. It's going to be amazing. But if they fail to clear those levels, the main level that I need to see break down are 320 and 317. If those two levels fail, I would favor some downside, at least another $10 to $15 move to the downside. Here is IWM. IWM with the pullback, it went for the gap fill, but this was a previous pivot high, and today it hit that previous pivot high after clearing it yesterday officially, and it found buying pressure. It's giving me staircase vibes, and if the staircase continues to be upwards, 226.7 must hold on any pullback. From here, 230 must recapture, and 232 and 234 will be in play, but they'll need to clear as well tomorrow to give us those new higher highs up to 235.5 and 238. If we want to get bearish, 228 and 226.7 must fail as support, because if it does, IWM would officially be in false breakout mode. Now, while a lot of ticker symbols were chopping, Amazon was popping. It went for a gap fill today, very nice, but I'm interested to see what happens next. 231 was a fib level, a previous sell zone that is now a previous buy zone that is now a sell zone. 231 will be my equilibrium level for tomorrow. If bulls want more upside, they'll need to clear 231 and 233 to put 235 and 236.5 in play. I would be bullish above 236.5 for sure. But if they fail to clear 231, they will need to see if there's a strong rejection from this area, and I will trust it only if 229 and 227 fails as support. If it does, 225.5, 224, 222.5, 221, 219 and 217.3 would all be in play. So that's a little something different for you guys. I haven't covered Amazon in a while, so I figured I'd do it today. It's pretty nice. And yeah, that's what I have for you guys today. I hope I was able to give you guys some value. I know the SPY didn't really do much today, but I do want to remind us that not every trading day is the same. You know, it's over 200 plus trading days. They're not all created equal, and that's okay. Some days are going to be better than others, but we want to do our best to always remember and embody that we are money magnets. No matter what the 3D world throws at us, we will stay grounded, we will hold our space, we will stand on our principles and beliefs. And our beliefs are that we are money magnets and we are co-creators with God when it comes to our reality. So believe and you will receive. I love y'all. Peace.